Breaking Free, a personal journey to overcome toxic influences in the African American community by Tandricus Thomas. Choosing to heal yourself first to uplift your community. My story, recognizing the cycle. Greeting, and thank you for reading my book. My name is Tandricus Thomas. As I reflect on growing up as a black man in my community and a native of Atlanta, Georgia, I didn't fully understand the depth of the struggles we faced. At first, it felt like just another part of life, something normal, even unavoidable. But as I grew older, I began to see how much of our hardships were rooted in the people we surrounded ourselves with and the mindsets we carried. In my environment, survival often meant ignoring the cracks in the foundation. We chose loyalty over accountability, silence over confrontation, and too often, chaos over peace. It was a cycle, one that many of us didn't even realize we were stuck in. I had the blessing of being raised by my mother and my stepfather. He was the pastor of a small church. We didn't have much when it came to money, but what we lacked in material wealth, we made up for with love and support. As the eldest of 6 kids, I had a childhood that I can look back on with gratitude. We grew up in Perry Homes projects on the west side of Atlanta. But within those project walls, my parents created a foundation of faith and resilience that carried us through tough times. Yet outside that apartment, many of the people in my circle didn't have what we had. Friends, neighbors, and even extended family members struggled in ways I didn't fully grasp as a child. Their homes weren't filled with love or support. They were often filled with tension, pain, and survival tactics. I want to make one thing clear. I'm not a doctor, therapist, or professor. What I share comes from years of observation, research, and personal experience. I've seen with my own eyes how we as a black community often find ourselves on the blunt end of the stick. From systematic racism to generational poverty, we faced obstacles that seemed designed to hold us back. Recognizing the patterns. As I got older, the patterns became impossible to ignore. I saw arguments turn into fights, dreams get dismissed before they even had a chance to take root, and jealousy disguised itself as concern. I started to notice that some of the people closest to me, friends I grew up with, neighbors I saw every day, even some family members, weren't rooting for success. It wasn't because they didn't care. It was because they didn't know how to care in a healthy way. Some people thrive on drama because it was all they knew. Others brought people down because lifting themselves up felt impossible. Toxicity wasn't just around us, it had become a part of us. Admitting this wasn't easy. How could I point out the flaws in my community without feeling like I was betraying it? But the truth is, wanting better for ourselves and our people isn't betrayal, it's love. Starting with myself. As much as I wanted to change the people around me, I realized that work had to start with me. If I wanted to break free from the cycles of negativity and toxicity, I couldn't wait for others to change first. I had to lead by example. I began by looking inward, asking myself hard questions. What habits or attitudes have I picked up that might be holding me back? How do I contribute to the chaos, even unintentionally? What kind of person do I want to be? And what do I need to change to become that person? These weren't easy questions, and the answers weren't always comfortable, but they were necessary. Change had to begin within me before I could extend it to my family, my friends, or my community. A message to our community. To my brothers and sisters, whether you're 17 or 80, this message is for all of us. The struggles we face as a community are real, and many of them are rooted in forces beyond our control, but some of them are things we can change. We can choose to break the cycles of toxicity that have been passed down through generations. We can challenge the mindsets that tell us we're not enough, that our dreams are too big, or that lifting someone else up takes something away from us. Breaking free isn't just about individual success. It's about collective healing. It's about building families that thrive, friendships that uplift, and communities that support one another. It's about creating a legacy of love, accountability, and growth for the generations that come after us. The journey isn't easy, but it's worth it. And it starts with a choice to look inward, to confront the toxic influences in our lives, and to take that first step toward freedom. Let's make that choice together. The turning point, changing myself first. I remember the moment I decided enough was enough. I was sitting with a group of guys I had known for years, listening to them talk about everything they hated, about people they envied, opportunities they thought were stolen from them, and plans they never followed through on. Something clicked in me that day. I didn't want to spend the rest of my life stuck in that cycle of negativity. I wanted something different, something better. But how could I expect anyone else to change if I wasn't willing to take that first step myself? I started small. I made time for self-reflection, asking myself hard questions about the kind of man I wanted to be and the kind of energy I wanted to bring into the world. I read books on mindset and growth, learned about the power of positive thinking, and began cutting ties with people who only brought negativity into my life. It wasn't easy. Some people thought I was acting better than them or too good for the hood. But I stayed focused because I knew that if I could find peace within myself, I could show others what was possible. Creating a group of positive thinkers. Once I started changing, I realized I wasn't alone. There were other people in my community, people who wanted more but didn't know where to start. So I decided to create a space for us, a group of like-minded individuals who believed in the power of peace, healing, and growth. We started small, just a handful of us meeting up to talk about our goals and hold each other accountable. Over time, that group grew into something bigger. We shared resources, supported each other through hard times, and celebrated each other's wins. But most importantly, we created a culture of positivity. We replaced gossip with encouragement, jealousy with collaboration, and bitterness with forgiveness. Lessons I learned along the way. 1, you can't change the world without changing yourself. The hardest part of this journey was admitting my own flaws. It's easy to point fingers at other people, but real growth starts with looking in the mirror and being honest about what you need to work on. 2, negativity is contagious, but so is positivity. Just like toxic energy can bring a community down, positive energy can lift it up. By surrounding myself with people who believed in healing and growth, I created a ripple effect that spread beyond our group. 3, healing is a process, not a destination. There's no quick fix for the kind of generational pain and trauma that many of us carry. But every step forward, no matter how small, brings us closer to the life we deserve. 4, it's okay to let people go. Not everyone will understand your journey, and that's okay. You can love people from a distance while still protecting your peace. A vision for the future. My goal wasn't just to create a group of positive thinkers. It was to show my community that we have the power to redefine ourselves. We don't have to be trapped by the circumstances we were born into or the pain we've endured. By choosing peace and healing, we can break the cycles that hold us back and build a future where success isn't seen as a threat, but as a shared victory. If you're reading this, I want you to know that change is possible. No matter where you come from or what you've been through, you have the power to rewrite your story. Start with yourself. Choose peace over chaos, healing over pain, and positivity over doubt. And when you found your light, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Because when one of us rises, we all rise. Let's build a community where we lift each other up, where we give life to peace, and where healing is not just a dream, but a reality.